Hello, everybody. Glad to hear from you. I hope so, because we're going to be talking for a few minutes. It's March the 1st, 2011. Hello from Shawshank Prison. We're going to have a great time today. I need to talk to y'all about some exciting things been going on. Some, quite frankly, some incredibly, almost unbelievable things. If they weren't actually happening to me, I probably wouldn't believe them. But we do need to sit down and chat for a few minutes today, get you guys all caught up. And what I'm going to try to do here, welcome to the Princess Podcast, by the way. My name is John, and we're going to have a great time today, just for a few minutes. Well, actually, I got a few things on the list, so we might have a longer talk than we have in the past. So we'll just try to get through all this stuff. We need to start with the some of the updates on some of the things that have been going on. This is starting to feel more and more like a prison sentence here, and nobody is. I still haven't got a call from the DA's office or a police organization to tell me what I did to deserve this. And I think the answer is you didn't do anything to deserve this. You're paying for other people's mistakes, and I think that'll all come out in the future. But before we get into that, let's talk about what's been going on. A special thanks goes out to the U.S. military, the United Nations, or whoever it is that's authorized the jet airplanes and the big black dangerous-looking helicopters to sort of, I guess, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I guess patrol the area, go directly over the house. The helicopters are the best part. I mean, the jets, they just come down low. But the best part is the helos. And these aren't regular helos. These are these badass looking things that have the guns on the side, and these sons of bitches, they'll come right over the house here, and it happens quite frequently. And then one time I was out on Center Street here in Deer Park, Texas, and one of them flew right over my friggin' automobile. I mean, low, come down, and I'm like, who the hell are these fucking people, man? And what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's obvious here that the assholes and the terrorists have either imprisoned me in some way, but there is a way out of this, and I need to let y'all know that we'll get to some of that here in a little while. Talk to you the way that I can get out of this and maybe get on with the rest of my fucking life. Sorry to use language, kids. This is a rated PG-13 show from this point on. And so, kids, if you're offended by somebody who says fuck or shit, probably need to find another podcast. Speaking of the military, this is kind of interesting. For those of y'all that don't know, I have a couple of sites. I built a couple of little affiliate sites years ago, or one of them in particular, that sells Marine Corps, T-shirts, ball caps, that type of thing, military surplus stuff. And it's just sort of been a little hobby that's made a couple bucks here and there. But apparently, this site, usmcprideonline.com, that's usmcprideonline.com, make sure to visit and buy somebody a T-shirt. Apparently this site and a couple other sites that I've got like a mirror site, a similar site, navypride.net. Go ahead and buy John McCain a new ball cap there, navypride.net, and do it today. And there's another one, yourhomebusinesstips.net. All three of these sites were attacked by the assholes and the terrorists last weekend and brought down. And what's interesting is, why is all this going on? These sites are... it's great. You get up one day, you say, I'm going to sell T-shirts and ball caps on the internet, and you think, it's not really a big deal, but maybe I'll make a couple of bucks. Well, these websites are apparently so powerful, so cutting edge, so important to our national security that they are actually being attacked and brought down by terrorist organizations. It's amazing. I mean, look. You know what's going to make me proud? I'd like to see that Osama bin Laden guy make a video wearing like a nice Marine Corps T-shirt or something. That'd be fantastic. Or a Navy ball cap, like John McCain. You always see John McCain with a Navy ball cap. You need a new ball cap. That's navypride.net, sir. Thank you. And do it today. And buy something for your daughters and your wife, too. So that's the way out of this. What we're going to do is we're going to try to make a couple bucks on the internet so I could maybe, maybe even purchase my own deodorant and toothpaste every once in a while here in prison. You know, in prison, it's amazing how you can get kind of bogged down in the little things. You know, you don't really worry about you know things like leaving the house or being able to do things like that, because we already know I can't do that. But things like buying deodorant, toothpaste, and I hate running out of coffee here in prison. Do I get any coffee drinkers out there? You know what it's like when you drink coffee every fucking day and you run out of coffee? That's a fucking pain in the ass. T-shirts and ball caps starting today. USMCPrideOnline.com and NavyPride.net. I want some ball caps and T-shirts moving today. Thank you very much. Another thing, I've been thinking about sitting down and writing a book about my experiences. My life has been sort of, in the past, going back a decade or so, has been marked by unusual circumstances, physical threats against myself. People have an interesting way of dealing with John Tyler, and basically that is, if we can't get him to do exactly what we want him to do, we'll just murder him or tell him we're going to murder him. And I don't know if the helicopters and the jets are somebody threatening me or protecting me from somebody that's threatening me. But it goes all the way back down to Galveston. We don't need to go back into that here. There'll be an entire chapter of that in the book. But I do want to mention that the challenges that I'm having as I sit down and I start to outline this book is that there are a lot of, this is like a giant puzzle, right? And because nobody has really sat down with me and debriefed me, and I certainly expect that at some point. If you guys want me to remain friendly to y'all, I mean, expect somebody to take me into a room and say, this is why you've been going through this bullshit for years. Would you? There's just too many things that I don't know. I know what's happening to me, but I don't know how to process the information because everything seems to be, there's just a lot of shit going on. I mean, now I got helicopters and fucking airplanes over me. I got people on airplanes threatening me or saying crazy shit. We'll get to that in a podcast premise. Y'all will like that podcast. We're going to talk about some of the strange occurrences that have been going on. I'm not crazy. That's the funny thing. I'm very, very. You know what? You know what's interesting? I've been one of these people over the years that's sort of been critical of these people that will you hear these people that say, these crazy folks that say, come up with these theories like the government was involved in 9/11 or they'll come up with even better shit than that. Like, oh yeah, that people in camouflage uniforms were actually spotted in the federal building in Oklahoma City. So the government must have actually, and I'm like, you fucking people are crazy to think that crazy ass shit. And then all of a sudden I got this shit going on in my life. And you start to wonder, who the fuck are the bad guys and who the fuck are the good guys? Can somebody explain that shit to me? I need somebody to buy some fucking T-shirts and ball caps. USMCPrideOnline.com and NavyPride.net. Let's do it today. Thanks. So anyway, the challenges with the book are, I've got a lot of material, a lot of ideas of things I want to write about, but I want to know how everything's interconnected. And I think until this situation progresses to the next stage, whatever that is, I don't think that I have all the information that I need to write what I need to write. And anything that I wrote now would have to be rewritten later when all the information came out. Does that make better sense? So you're not going to be getting any books from me anytime soon. I would imagine if we've gotten to the point where there are jets and helicopters flying over the fuck of the house, that this will end up in a court sometime, right? I certainly hope so. Here's some bad news. Duffers. Remember Duffy? Yeah, y'all remember Duffy from the last podcast, the convulsing animal, the convulsing doggy. Such a good friend, and a friend of Fritzy's. Fritzy's sitting right here. He's napping. As he gets older, I notice he likes to nap more. But he's lost a dear friend in Duffers. I called him Duffers. His name's Duffy. But, Duffy went on to the sweet by and by. All dogs go to heaven, don't they? Well, this one's up there dancing with Jesus. Because he lost his battle with, I guess, old age. I don't know how long dogs last. But this one had slowly deteriorated. You know, he started doing that thing there on the floor for a while, and then lost use of his hind legs. That dog was the fastest two-legged fucking dog in the world. I mean, if he thought he was missing out on some kind of treat in the kitchen, that dog could run with his front legs. I mean, like at 100 miles per hour, and he learned to use those back legs, excuse me, which didn't actually operate like normal dogs. They just sort of hung limp. But if he thought he was missing out on some piece of lunch meat or something in the kitchen, boy, that dog could run 100 miles per hour and just balance himself on his hind legs. Well, anyway, we lost him, I guess, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, and I'm sorry that I haven't been thoughtful. I should have been making more podcasts, and and I haven't. But we lost Duffers. But Fritzy's here. He's healthy. I think, other than it looks like maybe cataracts. His eyes are looking like milky, and he walks into walls. But other than that, he still says, "Hello." So, how you doing, little buddy? Let's get him and see what he's doing. Come here, buddy. Can you talk? Can you talk, little buddy? Can you talk right there? I'm putting him right next to the mic. Can you talk? Oh no, he was sleeping, and I woke him up. So he doesn't much care for that. There's some great shows coming to town that I won't be at because I'm in prison. Somebody told me Peter Murphy. Oh, I saw on the internet machine that Peter Murphy's coming to Houston. Wouldn't it be great if I could go to a Peter Murphy show? No, I'm in prison. Stryper's coming. Stryper, I used to listen to Stryper when I was in high school. And I have seen Stryper more times than any other live band. And of all the bands that I've seen live, I've seen Stryper like 7 or 8 times live. No other band anywhere close. And they're a great live band, and they're coming to Houston. I'm in prison. I already missed Nitzareb because I was in prison. And I missed Flyleaf because I was in prison. See, I'm missing. You don't get the days back. That's what I'm learning. You know, money you can maybe earn back later. Your life, you don't get back. I don't get these days back. I guess I just have to grin and bear it, right? Oh, I already went over Duffers. Poor little Duffers. And princess update. Can't much chase the princess when you're in prison, now can you? I mean, I can sit here all fucking day and wish and hope, but there's that chasm. Remember the chasm between what we say and what actually fucking happens? And here I am today, and no princess. But I really had a crush on this one girl, and I didn't ever get a chance to follow up on that. What are you going to do when you're in prison? I think we ought to start working on that plan to get me released from prison and get me wherever the hell I'm supposed to be. Can I get a better amen on that one? Thanks. Y'all been talking to Jesus? Oh, you church folk. I keep my church folk. You know, even though I say shit and fuck and I'm pissed at the fucking world sometimes, I've hung on to some of my core listeners, and those are my church folks, and it's just great to have y'all with me. And I was thinking about asking Jesus for a payday loan. I was driving down the road. Well, it's been a long time it's been months. Y'all ready for this? It's literally been months since I even left this house. Can you believe that? It's true. It's been months since I left this house. I give myself haircuts with this pair of clippers. It's kind of like if you're familiar with military, it's kind of like a modified high and tight. I just put a towel over the sink. Actually, I can do it as pretty much as well as anybody else. Well, I mean, you know, I don't know that I'd go out in public with my high and tight. I'd probably go somewhere and ask them to touch it up or something before I went out and made a public appearance. Oh, your haircut looks great. Who did it? Me, over the sink with a fucking pair of whatever they call that shit, clippers. Anyway, payday loans from Jesus. Yeah, I want to ask Jesus for a payday loan. You remember when we used to listen? I remember 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago when I thought this situation was almost over, and I used to listen to them preachers, and they'd say, "You don't get weary in well doing, Because if you don't give up, you're going to reap a harvest. One translation says, payday is coming. And I think to myself, I was driving down the road, man, and I saw a sign that said, payday loans. And I thought, man, I ought to go in there and get me a payday loan, because payday is coming. Hey, nothing against Jesus, but if Jesus was a boss and told me 5-6 years ago payday was coming, and I was still sitting here using another adult's deodorant, I'd probably quit. Can I get a better amen on that? I've had better bosses even when I've had bad bosses, and somebody doesn't give you a paycheck for 5 years or 6 years or whatever the hell it's been now. It's been fucking crazy. I mean, it's been fucking crazy. And then, okay, so I'm thinking about going in there and saying, yes, Jesus said payday's coming. A preacher on TV says payday's coming. Payday's coming. And I'd like to get a payday loan. Well, that sounds great there. Sir, can I see a check stub? Oh, you don't need to see a check stub? Payday's coming. It's in the Bible. That never comes back void. You know what she's going to say to me? Perhaps you hadn't heard about the chasm. And I'm going to say, what the fuck's a chasm? The chasm is the big hole between what we say is going to happen and what actually happens. I call it chasm. I've kind of coined the term. As I watch TV, I'll watch the news, or I'll read shit on the internet, and I find myself all the time rolling my eyes and I'm saying, oh, that's fucking chasm. That dude's a chasm talker. I've even coined a phrase, chasm talker. Chasm talker is somebody that talks and tells you shit's going to happen. That shit don't happen. That's the separation between what we say is going to happen and what actually fucking happens. Oh, you got this is going to happen. That didn't happen. Well, this is going to happen, and that didn't happen. Well, this is going to happen. You just got to wait for it. Well, I didn't wait long enough. I wasn't patient long enough. Come on now. Shit. All right, one of the other things we want to do here on the podcast, and I know I've been running my fucking mouth. Eventually, we're going to get that princess on here. You're going to love that. She is so beautiful. Baby, you're beautiful. You're a gorgeous princess. I don't like it when I don't get to spend time with you. That scared the hell out of Fritzy. He got up and ran over there. He did not like that. Fritzy, I'm sorry, baby. I was talking to the princess. I don't like it when I don't get to see you every day. Shit. Anyway, we're going to get her on here, and that's going to be the best podcast ever. She's going to be, she's awesome. Y'all are going to love the princess. But one of the things that I want to do is over the years, because people haven't been able to address my situation in a fair way, what they've chosen to do instead is to just make me into the bad guy. Well, we can't really fix this, so we're just going to say he's done this crazy shit, and we'll just make everybody try to make everybody think that he's a bad guy. And luckily, because my podcast listeners and Twitter followers and you folks who actually have brains in your heads, or actually have some sense of right and wrong, is probably a better way of saying it, realize that I have been unfairly treated in this situation, and that more often than not, somebody taught me a long time ago, they said, if you got a big problem and everybody's pointing their finger at you, and you keep pointing no, I'm sorry, that's not the way they said it. They said, if you got a big problem and you keep pointing your finger at everybody else, the problem's probably you. Well, no, the problem isn't actually me. The problem is actually the other people, but what the fuck are we going to do? They say, oh, John, you've been in the fiery furnace. You've probably learned a lot about yourself. You probably really matured and learned a lot about yourself. You know what I've learned? You know what my number one lesson is during all this fucking time? You know what my number one lesson is? No matter how hard you try, and no matter what you do, you cannot make other fucking people make good decisions. That's what I've learned. All right. Man, I'm sorry. Let me get another sip of this coffee. I'd rather do this with beer, but it's before noon. I don't have any beer. Well, a man who cannot buy his own deodorant does not buy beer. That is, we could put that on a fucking t-shirt. To sell it on Marine Corps, USMCPrideOnline.com. Go buy you a Marine Corps t-shirt. John McCain needs a new ball cap. NavyPride.net. Shit, where were we? I wanted to address some of the bullshit, right? I've got a little thing in my head called a bullshit alert, and every time I read something, there's actually blogs and online things that I don't even go to anymore. I've told myself, you can't go to that site anymore. It's like a parent telling your child, you can't go. Well, I've told myself, you can't go to that site because the bullshit alarm goes off too often. And I'm not pointing anybody out. Don't worry, I'm not going to call you out. But you probably know who you are. But anyway, I don't. There's places I don't go because the bullshit alarm goes off. Let's talk about my prescription medication problem. And we're gonna actually go over a list of things that I've compiled here that are absolutely fucking crazy. We're gonna go all the way from this one, which is pretty minor. We're gonna talk about my prescription medication problem today, and then we're gonna talk about in another podcast my gambling problem. We're gonna talk about. It'll be a progression, and we will get to how I killed my mother. Sometimes I wonder if the fucking morons and idiots don't sit around in a dark goddamn room and say, well, what can we come up with next? Nothing else is fucking work that we've made up about this guy. Have we thought about accusing him of killing his mother? Nobody likes somebody that kills their mother. Now that's pretty good. Can you work on that? Let's work on that. Anyway, let's take them one at a fucking time. We're going to start with my prescription medication problem today. In my lifetime, and I've been alive several decades now, in my lifetime, I have on one occasion that I can remember, one occasion, taken a prescription medication that was not prescribed to me. One time, about 10 or 15 years ago, somebody handed me a Klonopin at a party, and I was stupid enough to take the fucking thing. Other than that, every other time that I've ever put a prescription medication in my mouth, it was prescribed to me. When I was in the Marine Corps, I got my wisdom teeth removed. They prescribed, I think it was Tylenol 3. It may have been stronger than that, but I took the pills as prescribed. It's the only time I've ever taken prescription medication. I've never taken anything stronger than an Advil or an aspirin. I don't know what a Valium feels like. I don't know what a painkiller, these people that pop pain pills, I don't know what that fucking feels like. The prescription medication rumor dies today. It's absolutely fucking asinine. And we're going to start with the prescription medication rumor, and we're going to work on all of them, working up to he killed his mother, which is the most ridiculous of them all. But I thought we'd touch on that today, and now that y'all know that I take medicine as it's prescribed by a physician, and my partying days are well documented, and if you guys want to go back over that, what I need to do is find somebody to sit here and interview me. You notice that's funny that we've gotten to the point in this situation where helos are flying over fucking head, and it's an international, huge international thing. People all over the world are looking at this situation, but the story's never been important enough for the media to cover. The biggest fucking story, and they ignore it. They ignore it. They don't ignore it. They keep a close eye on it. Hackers. Can you fucking believe that everything I do on the computer that's in the other room is somehow seen by everybody in the fucking world, or it seems like it? If I can type a short message in Gmail, okay, and not even send an email outside the computer, but save it as a draft, and you people can see it, and the fucking guy sitting there calling the goddamn NFC or AFC championship game on television appears to react to it, we got a problem. 25 minutes I've been talking. I hope I said something that was interesting to you. If this was happening to somebody else, all these things, all these accusations with absolutely no fucking real evidence, never talk to a police, and I am pro-police. This is not anti-police, but usually, like I've said before, I've watched a lot of court TV and Law and Order too. And what generally happens is when somebody's accused of something, the police come and they chat with them. I have been accused of so many fucking silly ass goddamn fabricated things, and they seem to have affected my life, but I've never talked to a police officer about them. Is that the way it works on Law and Order? No. There's the prosecutor, there's the police, and there's the prosecutors, and the reason why the police never come and talk to me is because none of this shit's for real. It's all made up. They make the shit up. But if this was happening to somebody else, in other words, it wasn't happening to John, and I had a friend that came to me and said, you wouldn't believe, now I got helicopters flying over the fucking house, I got, this has been happening, this has been happening, this has been happening. I'd say, dude, it's time to fucking find an attorney and find out who's responsible for this. You know what I'm saying? What do you think? You think I ought to get an attorney? Oh no, this is too big. You don't want all this to come out. Yes, I fucking do. And if I don't care what the fucking consequences are, I'm going to make sure all this shit does come out. Princess, you have to hang in there, sweetheart. You have to be a woman of strength, and you have to be a woman of focus. And let me talk a little bit about that. Focus is the ability to look past where you are and what things may seem like right now, and the ability to look through that, to look past that. And if you aren't a woman of focus, then you probably aren't my girl. And I certainly hope you are, because you are awesome. But this isn't over yet. We're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and this situation is going to be finished. This is going to be a process that we go through. So what it's going to take on your part, Princess, is a focus, a strength. And I think that you making it through this period is a testament. It says a lot about you, frankly. And I adore you, and you know that. And I can't wait till we get to spend time together. We're going to take trips, we're going to have fun, but we have to get through this. Okay? We have to get through this. Prognosticators, I've stopped looking at some of your websites and shit, and I've got a rule. I don't even, when I make a decision, and then I don't even look back at your websites. I don't look back at your Twitter accounts. Prognosticators, remember, we don't go 2 or 3 years back in time. Those things are gone. The Lord wants to heal that, brother. The Lord did heal that, and I moved on. Forgetting those things, we press on, right? That's good, John. That'll preach. 29 minutes. I need to wrap this thing up. We got t-shirts we need to start buying at usmcprideonline.com. We got ball caps for John McCain we need to start buying at navypride.net, and we need to start doing it immediately. Once those dollars start rolling in, I'm in as y'all know, that those are affiliate sites, which mean I get I'm in an arrangement with these companies where they pay me they compensate me for the business I send them. And so I need to send them some business, and I really appreciate it. Every one of you that cares enough, maybe you're in Washington, D.C., and you think, this is a huge situation. We just don't know how to get out of this. Do you know somebody that's fucking serving overseas? Well, yeah, my brother-in-law's son, he's got 2 sons that are Marines over there. Buy them fucking t-shirts yesterday at usmcprideonline.com. Well, my sister-in-law, my son's in the Navy. Buy him a fucking t-shirt at NavyPride.net.com. God bless you guys. It's great talking to you, Princess. You gotta hang in there, baby. And we'll chat with you guys later. Take care.